You ever wake up and feel that something's wrong before you even open your eyes? That was me that morning. The air felt off. My stomach churned before my feet even hit the floor. I looked out my window, and my heart dropped. My Dodge Challenger, the car I'd spent years restoring, was gone. I ran outside barefoot, thinking maybe I'd parked it on the other side of the driveway. Nope. Empty space. Just a few scattered tire marks and a single broken taillight, piece glinting in the sun. My dream car had vanished. I called the police immediately, but deep down, I already knew this wasn't a random theft, because across the street stood her, HO Karen, arms crossed, smirking like she just watched karma unfold. "Morning," she said with that fake sweet tone. "Rough start to your day?" I could feel my blood boiling, but when I asked if she saw anything suspicious, she just shrugged. "Maybe you should have followed HOA parking rules. Guess the neighborhood's had enough of your muscle car." That's when I noticed it. A security camera perched on her porch, blinking red. She had to have footage. But when I asked to see it, she said, "Sorry, can't. The system's down." Right, convenient. Hours later, I got a call from my buddy who works at a local auto garage. He sounded uneasy. "Hey man, this might sound weird, but someone just posted your exact rims for sale on an online marketplace. Same scratches, same model." My heart raced. I opened the listing, and there it was. My rims, my hood emblem, my spoiler, each listed separately by a seller with a suspiciously new account. Username, JackSpeed22. And guess what? Karen's son's name was Jax. That was all I needed. The pieces clicked. I wasn't just missing a car. I was dealing with Karen's family. I decided not to tell the cops yet. I wanted proof, solid proof. So I sent a message to JackSpeed22, pretending to be an interested buyer. He replied fast, too fast. "Yeah man, parts are clean. Can meet tonight, cash only." He sent the Meetup location. A sketchy parking lot behind an abandoned mall. Perfect. I was going to catch him red-handed, but I wasn't going alone. Because the person I invited to that meetup, let's just say Jax was about to meet someone he'd never forget. By the time sunset hit, my nerves were on fire. The idea of walking into that parking lot to confront Karen's son, a kid dumb enough to steal a car, and try selling its parts online, was risky. But I wasn't going in blind. See, I had backup. Not the kind you'd expect. No cops, no friends. I called Detective Miller, the same officer who'd investigated a vandalism case Karen caused last year. When I told him what was going on, he didn't hesitate. "You sure it's her kid?" he asked. "Positive," I said, sending him the screenshots. He used the name JackSpeed22. That's her son. "Jax, he's bragged about racing cars before." Miller sighed. "All right, don't confront him. Let's make this clean. I'll be nearby. You just play along until I give the signal." I agreed. The plan was simple. I'd meet Jax, confirm the parts were mine, and stall. Meanwhile, Miller and his team would be hidden nearby, ready to move in. As I got dressed, I thought about Karen, the way she smirked that morning, pretending she didn't know a thing. Maybe she really believed her family was untouchable because of her HOA status. Well, tonight she was about to learn that power doesn't work outside the neighborhood committee. At 8:47 p.m., I pulled into the dark lot. A few flickering streetlights buzzed overhead, illuminating cracked pavement and empty fast food wrappers. My heart pounded as I parked beside a row of dumpsters. 5 minutes later, an old gray pickup truck rolled in. The engine sputtered like it had been abused for years. The driver stepped out, a tall, skinny teenager wearing a hoodie. His baseball cap was low, but I recognized him instantly. "Jax." He looked around nervously before opening the truck bed. Inside were my car parts, cleanly removed and stacked like trophies. "You the guy from the marketplace?" he asked, voice cracking. "Yeah," I said, forcing a calm tone. "These yours?" He shrugged. "Yeah, got 'em from a buddy. He's got a shop, you know." I smirked. "Right, must be a nice shop." Those parts came off my Challenger. His face froze. For a split second, I saw panic flash in his eyes. He started backing up, mumbling something about leaving. That's when I heard the soft click of a door from across the lot. Detective Miller and 2 officers emerged from the shadows, badges gleaming under the light. Jax turned, ready to bolt, but it was too late. "Police, don't move!" He froze like a deer in headlights, hands in the air. And then, headlights flared from the opposite side of the lot. A car screeched to a stop. Out stepped Karen. Karen stormed out of her SUV like she was marching into a courtroom she already owned. Her heels clacked against the pavement, her voice slicing through the air. "Jackson, what on earth is going on here?" Jax stood frozen, eyes wide, caught between his mother's wrath and the officers closing in. Detective Miller turned toward her calmly. "Ma'am, please stay back. We're in the middle of an investigation." But this was HOA Karen. Staying back wasn't in her DNA. "Investigation?" she barked. "This is harassment." You have no right to accuse my son of anything. He's just a child. I stepped forward, pointing to the stolen parts in her truck's bed. Then maybe you can explain why your child is selling pieces of my car online. Karen's face flushed red. That's absurd. My son would never steal. Before she could finish, Miller held up a small tablet. On the screen played security footage from earlier that day. Jax, clearly visible, sneaking into my driveway, unlocking my Challenger and driving off. Karen's mouth fell open. Her words caught in her throat. Miller's voice was calm but firm. We recovered this from your home security system, ma'am. The footage came from your camera feed. That stopped her cold. The same camera she claimed was down. Her eyes darted between the screen, her son, and me. The arrogance drained from her face, replaced by fear and rage. She snapped at Jax, voice trembling. You said you deleted that footage. He looked down, voice barely a whisper. I thought I did. The officers moved in, cuffing him gently while Miller read his rights. Karen lunged forward, shouting, You can't do this! You can't arrest my son! We're members of the HOA! Do you have any idea who I am? Miller didn't flinch. Yes, ma'am. And that's exactly why this is being handled by the book. I couldn't lie. Watching her crumble was satisfying. All those years of petty fines, threats, and smug lectures about community standards. And now she was standing there, helpless, while her son got caught red-handed with stolen property. As they led Jax to the squad car, Karen's anger turned toward me. You set us up. You planted this! She screamed. I just crossed my arms. Funny, you didn't seem to think the rules applied when your son was breaking into my garage. For once, Karen had nothing to say. She just stood there, shaking, eyes burning with humiliation as the police car pulled away. Blue lights flashing across her face, but something about her silence made my gut twist. Because that look wasn't defeat, it was vengeance, and I had a feeling. She wasn't done with me yet. The next morning, I woke up thinking the nightmare was over. Jax was in custody, the cops had my car parts, and even Detective Miller said it looked like a solid case. But if I've learned anything about HOA Karen, it's that she never goes down quietly. By noon, I stepped outside to check my mail, and there she was. Standing on her porch, arms crossed, sunglasses on, phone in hand. Her smirk was back. Enjoying your little victory? She called out. Because it won't last long. I ignored her and walked back toward my garage, where the police had dropped off my recovered parts. But something caught my eye. A bright orange HOA violation notice taped to my door, signed by Karen herself. Unapproved vehicle restoration, it read. Immediate fines pending. I laughed, out loud. She'd just watched her son get arrested for grand theft. And her first move was, another HOA fine? Classic Karen. That night, I got a call from Detective Miller. She's been trying to file complaints against you, he said. Claims you entrapped her son and damaged his reputation. I couldn't help but chuckle. She's relentless. He sighed. Don't worry. It won't stick. Just keep your head down for now. But I didn't plan to stay quiet. I had something Karen didn't. Proof and patience. The next weekend, our HOA held an emergency meeting. Karen strutted in like a peacock, pretending nothing had happened. She even started lecturing everyone about neighborhood integrity and setting examples for our youth. That's when I raised my hand. Funny you should mention integrity, Karen, I said, pulling out my tablet. The room went silent as I connected it to the projector. Up on the big screen played the footage. Her son stealing my car. Her lying about the camera being down. Her screaming at the cops. The gasps from the neighbors were priceless. One by one, people turned to her, whispering. Her face went pale, then red, then pale again. This meeting, I said calmly, should probably discuss new HOA leadership. It took less than 5 minutes for the members to vote. Karen was officially removed as HOA president. Her power, gone. Her pride, shattered. After the meeting, she rushed out without a word. I watched from my driveway as she got into her car, gripping the steering wheel so tight her knuckles turned white. She glared at me one last time before driving off. Weeks later, I got my Challenger back in full shape. The engine purred like nothing ever happened. But every time I take it for a drive, I pass by Karen's now for sale sign out front. Guess she couldn't stand living in a neighborhood where everyone finally saw her true colors. And as for Jax, let's just say he learned a tough lesson about stealing, especially from the wrong neighbor. If you enjoyed watching Karen's perfect downfall, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more crazy HOA and revenge stories, and drop a comment below. Tell me, what would you have done if someone tried to sell your car parts?